But here's the answer to what is the best event to run.
Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome, everyone, to another, yes, I said it, another amazing episode of Referrals Podcast. We are on the road to 1 million. We are way over 500,000 downloads, past 600,000 downloads. We are on the road to 1 million downloads. I have only downloaded it 610,000 times myself, so I know that I contributed to that a little bit. But the truth is, we wouldn't be here without you, the listeners, without you, the viewers, and with our sponsors. Bang Energy is our sponsor for today's broadcast. I have to tell you, I just got into these black cherry vanillas. I think we've had them on 3 or 4 podcasts, and the other one was the purple haze. If you like Bang Energy or you're familiar, what's your favorite flavor? Tell me in the Generosity Generation group. It's joingengen.com. Tell me your favorite flavor, and I might have a surprise for you. Here's the question, right? What is the best event to do? So I teach events. I coach event marketing. I'm an event marketing consultant to companies large and small, realtors and lenders, and so on and so forth. I've seen them all. I have literally seen them all. I've seen R-rated events. I've seen G-rated events. I've seen everything in between. And what is the best event? I get asked that all the day. Is it Pi Day? Is it the ice cream social? Is it the March Madness? Is it March Magic? Is it Spring Fest? Is it Fall Fest? Is it Summer Fest? And is it Breakfast with Santa? Is it Photos with Santa? I get all of these questions about what is the best question or best event for you, or what events do you do, Michael? People are all the time, I'm thinking about doing a client appreciation event, but everybody here knows the first rule of client appreciation events, right? The first rule of client appreciation events is don't call them client appreciation events. We don't want to use the word client because we don't want RESPA to kick in, and we don't want to be exclusive with the event. And then the word appreciation doesn't necessarily have a lot of zing. An event certainly doesn't have a lot of zing to it. So we need to get a better title, and Susan's definitely given you a better title today. But here's the answer to what is the best event to run. The best event to run is the event that aligns with your community. It is the best event that aligns with what your sphere of influence, the people you know would consider fun, enjoyable, entertaining, fun to go to. That is the best event. And I know that sounds cryptic and it sounds like I'm avoiding the question, but it's the truth. And in Event Mastery, that's what we actually do. We help you calibrate and figure out who are your people? Who are your people? And then once you've identified your people and what they're attracted to and what they want to go to, then the rest of it really falls in place nicely. And we get a great example of this today. I mentioned Event Mastery. I know sometimes you feel like I'm beating you over the head with the Event Mastery, baton, but come on. Like, what if you had a machine that churned out 10 referrals every time you ran the machine? That's what Event Mastery is. So check it out at eventmastery.com. Class starts October 7th. You can register now at eventmastery.com. We'd love to have you. So I have to also give a shout out, and I don't think I've ever done this, to Mandy Thacker and Sherry Maher. I know I've shouted out Sherry Maher quite a lot. You'd think we were married or something. We are. But here's the thing, is Mandy and Sherry have literally done such a great job with like our membership that the members of GenGen, the Generosity Generation, joingengen.com, we added over 250 members to the agent group in the last 2 weeks. In the 250, now you got to realize this is private. You can't find it except by referral, and you've got to give us information to get in so that we can refer you. So no bots, no like lonesome people just searching for groups. It's referrals. So 250 new referrals into the group in actually 17 days. So a little over 2 weeks. But bottom line, you can join today at joingengen.com. And speaking of people who have joined GenGen and are seeing the fruits of their labors and doing such a great job, today's guest is Susan Salituri, a realtor with deep roots in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. She brings a unique mix of real life experience, buying, renovating, and also selling properties herself, combined with professional design training from the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale. That gives her a sharp edge in presenting homes in a way that truly captures buyers' attention. Susan is known for her calm, clear, and practical approach, helping clients make confident decisions with both data and heart. Recently, she took her business to another level by running a client event, or something she would call something different that we're going to find out in a second, using the event mastery system, and the results were amazing. She's here today to share how she got started with this event and the success from it. Without further ado, let's welcome to Referrals Podcast, Susan Salituri.
Thank you, Michael Maher, and thank you for having me.
Well, it's absolutely our pleasure. And so I have to kind of start with, how did we come together? Like, how did you get started in the Generosity Generation and Referral Mastery Academy? How did that all begin?
Well, it started with an email in my inbox, and something in that email or in that advertisement for 7L and all of that, I decided to, I would tune in, I would listen to it. And when I did, all of a sudden, it just all came together for me, because I am a natural giver. And people tell me all the time I do way too much for, as a realtor for my clients. But it's just who I am. I can't do less.
Yeah.
I don't know how. So anyway, because it aligned with my core value, it was easy.
Yeah. So that's what I love about GenGen and the Referral Mastery Academy is I sometimes joke about it and just say, yeah, I'm like a heart surgeon. What I do is I take calloused hearts and I massage the callus off of them so that people can just do business with love, generosity, and appreciation, right? And that resonates with a lot of people. And some people are going to say, well, that's weaker. That's going to, not work. It doesn't work in today. And it's like, no, it's far more powerful now than in the history of sales, period. Like, no, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. So love that. What was the first thing that you did when you started to engage within the generosity generation?
Well, I started, asking questions like, how long have, people been with the program? And I was so surprised to find out that, people are running their entire businesses on this. And I was amazed. I was like, really? I'm like, great. So I was excited about that, because that was probably the single most important thing I wanted to know.
Yeah. Had you read 7L before or heard of 7L before you came in?
No. And
Yeah.
I read it right away. In fact, I downloaded it on Audible. I got the book. In fact, I won the book on the first event first podcast I was on with you, or webinar. Yeah, I won the book, and then I was chasing the book. It didn't seem like the book was coming. I think I asked you about that book like 3 times, and he finally said, I think you finally said, send her a new book. Okay,
That's what I did.
Yeah,
I did. I remember, like, we had USPS having all sorts of problems. We ended up shipping it to UPS. I remember that.
Yeah.
So, and what was that, about 18 months ago, or was that farther?
No, about 18 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
So, all right. So then you kind of started getting into it, and then, let's fast forward to June and July. In June, you decided to jump 100% into event mastery, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So what made you decide to jump in 100%?
Well, I had been taking the classes and, sort of taking the notes, and actually, I love the information, but I was busy with real estate and it got a little confusing. How do I juggle this over here with all this over here? And then when I listened to when I was in on the classes, I realized I better take it week by week with the classes. And that assistance really helped me to have this event.
Yeah, so putting it on the schedule and locking it in
Yep.
and really focusing on making it a priority,
Yes.
essentially, all right?
Yes. Mhm.
And so you did not call your event a client appreciation event, a client appreciation event.
No.
What did you call your event?
Summer social soiree.
The S's are strong with Susan Salituri. I'm just throwing it out there that I see a pattern here.
Yeah.
Summer social soiree.
Right.
All right. What was your vision behind it?
Well, my vision was to tap into my peeps here in South
Mhm.
Florida. Fort Lauderdale is a, vacation destination, but it's also a coastal destination. And most of the people that live here, a lot are retired, but there's also, a good community of working people, but everybody's all dialed in and geared up for happy hour. Okay. And a good happy hour goes a long way. So I was like, oh, but outside it's going to be too hot in July. Nobody's going to want to do that. Okay. So I knew that it was critical to find a place that could house us inside that was still coastal and
Mhm.
also that would be a great happy hour because that's what my peeps like.
Well, I love that. And honestly, in event mastery, that's something I talk about right in the planning sequence
Yep.
is take weather out of the equation if you
Yep.
can.
Yep.
Just take the rain out, take the heat out, take that out of the equation so that you're not, do your event inside or inside outside combo so
Right.
you've got a backup. And, interestingly enough, I learned that in a very big way with Referral Mastery Summit, where we had an outdoor event scheduled. It ended up raining and we had to really quickly make do with a backup plan. But, and honestly, I think a lot of the strategies I teach are just mistakes I've made through the years. Interesting that I now realize that. But so, all right. But what made you decide to host this type of event, right? So why a happy hour type instead of a wine and cheese or a board of advisors or any of the other type of events you could do?
Mhm. Well, I found a, I actually found this restaurant that I liked the feel of it, and it hosted a beautiful happy hour. I mean, their menu was it was Mediterranean. There were so many options on the menu for all the different types of people because we have a lot of people that have different eating styles here in South Florida. It's not just some basic nachos, okay, which is there's nothing wrong with basic nachos, but that's not South Florida. Okay, South Florida, you've got the vegetarians, you got the vegans, you've got the I'm on a diet, and these are all reasons that people wouldn't come because they can't stick to what they're used to. Okay,
Mm.
so when I found this particular restaurant, it sort of checked all the boxes for me, and it fed into the type of people that I knew I would be hosting.
Yeah, I love that. So here's the thing, right? And I absolutely love this. And this is one of the hardest parts is to find a venue that's consistent with what you're looking for in your event. And
Mhm.
in this case, you nailed it. So you've done an event or two before, and they didn't go all that well. They didn't go all that well, and people didn't necessarily attend them. And when did you know you had a hit with the summer social soiree? When did you know, like, this is my peeps? Like, I have finally, it's like a dial. I almost think of a dial, right? It's like, oh, and then it dialed in
Yeah.
and it totally matched up to your peeps. When did you know you had a hit?
I knew I had a hit when I started calling everybody personally and started talking to them about the event. They couldn't wait. They were like, great, and I said, well, you're going to get the save the date. And they were like, okay, we're going to be waiting for that. And they were like, why would I not come? I mean, it's food, it's drink, it's in a great location. And they said, and raffles. Okay. It just, the feedback I got from contacting each individual person on my list. And by the way, I did talk to every single person on that list. It
Love it.
was lengthy, but it was also very rewarding and actually fueled my fire to keep going.
Yeah. So hundreds of people on your list. You went through them. What was an aha from calling the people? Was there any aha that you had from actually having phone conversations with them?
Yes, and that was is that it's been too long. I should have been
Mm,
talking to them a lot sooner.
I think we can all say that. That's the truth for sure. And so, did you notice that they were happy to hear from you? Did you notice that having an event to invite them to made the call easier? Like, what were some things that you noticed as you made the calls?
Yes, in making the calls, I knew in my mind, I'm calling a friend. I'm not calling a cold call that doesn't know me. Okay. And I also used your example of texting first to
Mhm.
ask if they were available. And they say yes. And then I would call right away. Some of them I could not get off the phone for 30 minutes or so. I mean, I had evenings I'm like on the phone with a lot of people.
Well, that's a good problem, right? These
Yes, it
these
was.
are potential referral sources that are having great conversations with you and re-embracing you. Kudos for you on like having a life of good character that people, imagine if you've been a cold caller for 10 years
Oh,
and you're trying to call some of these people from your sphere. It would be a totally different reaction. Instead, they embraced you. They were really, really like, they liked hearing from you,
yeah,
and they're glad to hear from you.
yeah.
Yeah, and the text message definitely helps like break down the barrier,
Hmm.
doing a pretext.
Yeah.
So love that. And all right, so you followed the event mastery system almost to a T.
Mhm.
How did that structure help you plan and execute the summer social soiree with confidence?
Well, because having listened to the webinars, it seemed like if I didn't hear what I needed to on the webinars, I could always type in the chat or raise my hand and ask a question. So that was really great. That filled in whatever gap I had. And also because I had listened to it one time before, what it did for me is it helped to break it down more simplistically. Okay. The
Mm,
first time it seemed a little overwhelming, but then the second time around, it seemed like, okay, basically, venue is important because I need to, feed the people that are coming. And then the other thing that was very important was to make sure that I had a date that did not conflict. I mean, there's a lot of events that go on here in South Florida.
yep.
So a date is very important also because the whole January through April, I mean, every weekend there is something. And I don't mean one thing, I mean a bunch of things going on.
Mm.
So date was important, which is why I really liked that the heat of July, because anybody who's in town in July knows that there's not a lot of events going on. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you
So,
kind of went when there was no competition. And
right.
and what date did you do it, and what day and time did you do it?
It was on a Thursday night, July.
Was
July.
it right in line with the event mastery? So like the
We had just
19th, 20th, 21st?
No, it actually, yes, it was the end of July. We had just finished event mastery, and I
Okay.
made it the last Thursday after we just finished event mastery. So I had been through the whole thing,
Yep.
and yeah, and the support of the whole thing worked well for me this time. So
Great. What time? Six to
yeah,
eight,
it
four
was
to
from
five?
no, it was from 5:30 to 7:30.
Okay. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Which lines up with the happy hour at the restaurant, probably,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
Half price appetizers for you and the sponsors.
There you
Love
go.
that, right? And probably the drinks might even have a discount.
Yes,
Did they have a discount?
they did. In fact, after speaking with the lady who owned the restaurant, And by the way, I realized I knew her. I actually helped her and her family to get a rental.
Wow.
But yes, she said, I'm going to offer you the same discount I offer everybody at happy hour, which was 30 off drinks
Mhm.
and 30% off all the food on the menu.
Mm.
And
Love
that, by
that.
the way, made it so that the fear of not being able to financially handle it, it took all that away. It did.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Something else took that away as well. So you decided not to run an I event and just do this yourself. Thank God. The who is not you. You decided to bring in some partners.
Yep.
So, and these sponsor partners helped out considerably. Tell me, go through the process of the sponsor partner part of this.
Well, I went through my phone and I figured I think I had like 10 or 12 uh, businesses that I've been giving business to. And over the course of years, I mean, some of these businesses I've been giving business to for over 20 years. And I just called them up and I said, listen, I'm having an event and there's going to be all these, homeowners and people that I have worked with in real estate that need to know you. And I'm sure that in you presenting yourself there and bringing a prize for the raffle, that they're going to at some point in time they're going to need your services. And I also made it very affordable for them as well. So I mean, it was like $100 is all it was, and then bring a gift for the raffle. So that seemed affordable for them, and so basically they wound up paying for the whole thing, and I had $33 left at the end.
No, 30, uh, you made $33
Yes.
and you handed out. Now I'm gonna read this data because otherwise it would be too unbelievable for the
Okay.
listeners. All right. So you invited 78. You ended up with 40 RSVPs,
Hmm.
and like some events, we ended up with some regrets. And I have a whole thing about I think some of the best people in the world are non-attendees, right?
Hmm.
So
Right.
15 regrets. So you ended up with 19 to 25 people.
Right.
During the event, you ended up giving your eight sponsors for this event,
Hmm.
15 outgoing referrals. Is
Yes.
that right?
Yes. Hmm.
They contributed $600 and
Hmm.
also brought gifts for the door prize, or brought door prizes for the door prize contest.
Yep.
And your cost of the event was $567.10 for your results so far. I haven't even gotten to the rest of this. For your results so far, would you have paid $567.10
Yes.
without any hesitation?
Right.
And here's the other thing. Were you surprised at how low that was? Are you surprised it was only 567, or did you kind of know that it was going to be around that number?
Well, I did a few what ifs, okay, and I actually was thinking that it was going to be between 600 and 700, and I was obviously prepared with the rest. And but when it came in at $33 under what I had received, it was exciting.
That's awesome. And so everybody got a drink, everybody got the buffet,
Yep.
which everyone loved. So
Yep.
it worked out really, really good because they could
Yep.
choose what they wanted to eat. And
That's
like
right.
you said, they're a little more particular.
Yep.
Um, and you said could hardly believe how much fun the event was and how great it was to see you. Many mentioned and wanted you to stay in touch. They had mentioned that they had never even been to this kind of event before, and what a great idea. And we played the bingo game and so explain the bingo game. So you did a game called the bingo game, right? So what does that look like?
Okay, so it's a bingo card, and each one of my trusted vendors had a box on the card. And then there were some boxes on the card that, find somebody who's left-handed, find somebody who has a dog and,
Mhm.
and a cat and all that kind of thing. But it got the people up out of their chairs and mingling around and asking questions and who are you? And it's a great way to get the people. And of course, the vendors got to talk to every one of the
Mhm.
people that were there because they needed their initials to get bingo on the cards.
You forced interaction not just with yourself,
Yes.
but with all 8 of your sponsors as well. But
Yep.
you didn't do it where they stood at a booth or in a row.
No.
It was forced networking with interaction. And I bet the noise in the restaurant was just a perfect fever pitch of energy.
Yes.
That's what I imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. And then you sent me your data, right? You received one referral at the event, and
Oh,
then
but
you're
that's
waiting for
changed.
another referral to come back to town later in the month. So two pieces of business coming from this.
No, we've had some additional since that, since I reported that. We've
Well,
had,
tell me about them.
we've had two more that they texted me and said, my friend needs to talk to you. And, so then I called up. And so, yes, I've had two more since then. So we have a total of four at this point, but I'm still in touch with everybody via email blasts, and I expect it to keep going. And the excitement when people were leaving was fantastic.
Yeah. And another thing that I love about this is a happy hour is so good because you end at 7:30.
Right.
People still want more. They still have enough energy. If you ended your event at 1 a.m.,
Hmm.
people would be like tired of it. They'd be like, I don't know if I want to do that again. But
Hmm.
you kind of left them like still loving you. And I know that sounds weird, but there's still an energy associated with the event. And I'm sure people are like, oh, already, it's
Yeah.
already 7:30. It's like, yeah, so I love that. Now, can you tell me about the referrals? All right. So you got one referral at the event. And so how did you get that referral?
The one referral at the event came from the card that they filled out when they came in.
So the door
And
prize entry form, right?
yeah, the door prize entry form, exactly.
Okay.
So they filled out the card when they came in, and that one initially came from there. But it was in the follow-up that I got another one saying I'll be back in town in October. I was waiting to call you then, but I just want to let you know that as soon as I get back into town in October, I want to talk to you. And so yeah, they came, a little sporadically, but they're still coming.
Well, you're in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Like we're not talking $250,000 listings or buyers,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So, and then you got two more afterwards. Tell
Yes.
me, tell me how those happened.
Well, those came, like I said, via text message from somebody who was at the event. Both of them said, "Here's my friend. Call them. They need a realtor." And so yeah, so I've already called them up, and I'm working with those two people because they are in town right now.
There you go.
Yeah, we're very transient here.
Yeah.
People are in and out. They own places. They come to visit, their place, and they're only here for a certain amount of time. But yeah, that's what South Florida is all about.
Yeah, it's a little transient. They're snowbirds. They're
Yeah.
they're the type that move around quite a, but I have to just say, like you're almost like hunting a moving target with your events, and the
Yes.
fact that you rallied up 25 of the, well, 19 to 25. So let's say it's 25 and you got four referrals from that. That's a pretty dang good percentage, right?
Yes.
So you're
Hmm.
talking 15 to 20%.
Right.
Do you think you would have got any of those four referrals if you didn't do the event?
No.
Okay.
No.
So that's catalytic.
Hmm.
That's a difference maker.
Right.
Um, so love it. The and I know I'm super curious. I'm just rattling you with questions
Right.
um, the two people that texted you afterwards,
Hmm.
was it two different people or was it the same person?
Two different people.
Okay, two
Mhm.
different people, and they both attended.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. So I'm here where I was kind of hunting to is there were any what was the follow up to the regrets? What did you get any interaction with the regrets? Here's why I'm asking.
Okay.
Regrets is communication. All
Yes.
we're doing all of this for is
Hmm.
communication.
Hmm.
So I just wonder, I mean, 15 regrets, that's
Hmm.
Susan, that's a phenomenal, awesome number
Hmm.
because they love you, they
Hmm.
responded, and they didn't cost you a dime.
Right. Hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see, like, as you move forward, what happens from the regrets group.
Hmm. Okay.
Sounds like you have
Yes.
15 that are probably going to go to your next event.
Yes. Which I'm already planning right now.
Yeah, tell me about it. What are you doing?
Well, because it's going to be going close to the holiday time, I'm not going to make it anywhere between I can't compete with the holidays. Okay. I just can't do that, but I can get people
Especially in your
ready for the
area.
holidays. So my thought is to get people ready for the holidays by offering a holiday photo of
Hmm.
you and your family, and bring a friend. And again, it's going to be a happy hour kind of thing, because I know
Yep.
that they like that and it works. But while they're there having their happy hour, they're going to get their holiday picture taken. It's going to be early November, and there you go.
I love that. So here's what I love. You've taken the model that worked for you, the
Mhm.
happy hour model,
Mhm.
and you added an attraction. You
Right.
added something that
Mhm.
is maybe going to attract, 5 to 10 people more,
Mhm.
or, happy hour, the families are like, yeah, I don't know if I want to take, my 2 kids.
Mhm.
Now you've got the happy hour, friendly happy hour, and they can drink water, they can drink soda if they don't
Yeah.
want the happy hour environment. They can
Right.
eat, and their kids can eat,
Yep.
and you're going to get a family photo on top of it. I
Yep.
absolutely love that. That's such a great idea. What would you do better from the summer social soiree?
Well, I definitely have thought about that, and have been thinking about that. The things that went well in the summer social soiree is people in South Florida like to eat. They
Hmm.
like to be in a well lit place or have a fun place, let's just say. Um, and the only thing I could do better is reach out and invite more people. And I think that my raffles need to go to the next level. I don't think they were high enough up. Okay, so I do want to be a little bit more. I want to guide the vendors in making sure that they bring a high enough quality raffle.
How many of the vendors, those sponsor partners, do you think will sponsor your family photo day?
I think they'll all come back again. They were all very excited about the event and enjoyed it.
They
In fact,
interacted with everyone and
yeah,
they got referrals.
yeah,
What else do they want? If they're at the point where they're not getting in at that, I mean, like, what else is there?
right. Now, I will say this: I invited the trusted partners to come an hour in advance to sit down and eat with me.
Hmm.
Because I said, once the people get here, you're not going to have time to eat. I
Yeah,
want to make sure you're fed. So come
beautiful.
in advance. So they all came in advance. They sat down with me. They had food and drink and just enjoyed meeting the other people. And some of them said that was very nice that for me to think about that.
Yeah, that's so thoughtful. It's so thoughtful. Otherwise, they were going to be there eating, and I have to tell you, I have like a phobia about that. I hate eating in front of people. I
Oh,
just hate it where they might be seeing me eat, and I don't know why that is, but
okay.
maybe I eat like a monster or eat like a I don't know Neanderthal or something. But I love the thoughtfulness of that and the preparation of that. It also gets all your sponsor partners there an hour early,
Right.
so you're not sweating that, and love it. And you gave away 8 things. I'm not sure if you needed to give away 8 things to 20 to 25 people. If you gave away 2 or 3 really big
Mhm.
things,
Right.
it might be more of an attraction. So
Yes. And
I love it.
I feel like that is exactly where I need to go in the next one. And thank you for that update.
Yeah,
Yep.
love it.
Hmm.
Always getting better. Always
Yeah.
getting better.
Yeah.
So hosting an event can sometimes just feel super overwhelming.
Yeah.
How did you remain calm? And it seemed like you really enjoyed the process. How did you do that?
Well, because I had listened to and been through the event mastery, that this was the second time, I think that that was helpful for me to figure. And you had said a few times, this isn't rocket science, people.
Mhm.
Just get something on the books, get a date, and get a place. And then also, I had been sort of scoping out places prior to going through event mastery the second time, and actually had 3 other places that I was interested in. But I knew that the price at those places was going to put me under a pressure that would send me into another world. And I said, no, I
Mm.
can't do. I can't. As much as I would like to do it there, I can't. because it's just too much pressure. I have to
It
do
was
it.
budget friendly.
Yeah, I was looking for a price point that I knew I could support.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were calm from a financial sense.
Yes.
I love that. Did you get your sponsors early on or did you get them late in the process?
I got some early on. I did need a few more at the very end, but it wasn't a big deal because again, these are people I've already done business with for years and years.
Yeah.
So when they heard from me, it was just like calling one of the people from my sphere.
Love it. For someone listening who's on the fence about holding an event or following the event mastery system,
Mhm.
what advice or words of wisdom would you give them?
Well, for me, I would say number one, follow the program as closely as possible. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. I heard that from you, and I believe in that, and I did do that as much as I possibly could. The other thing is take the financial burden off the table early. Get your sponsors up front as much as you possibly can. And then that takes that off your back. At that point, all it is inviting, 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 inviting. So yeah, the financial burden was a big one for me. Because I didn't want to spend, that kind of money if I didn't have to,
Yeah.
and I could spend more time inviting instead of, more time worrying about, oh my God, is it, how much is this all going to be? And da, 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 da. So the financial part was huge for me.
Yeah. I love that. And that's interestingly enough, like, I don't know if you noticed it, but this year, when we started this year, we moved sponsor mastery
Mhm.
from session 5 to session 3. So it's now a part of week 3
Right.
instead of week 5. And we did it for that very reason.
Yeah.
Is some people are feeling a financial crunch or a budget crunch. Let's conquer some of that right off the bat.
Yeah.
And in many cases, people are able to get half their event paid for, within the first 3 weeks.
Right.
It's planning mastery, invitation
Mhm.
mastery, and then sponsor mastery. So early in the process, and we're talking also, 4 or 5 weeks before the event.
Right.
So it's kind of super professional to ask at that time.
Mhm.
So it feels more comfortable. It gives that sponsor time to plan. But here's the thing that I have noticed about sponsors and sponsor partners. The best week to get a sponsor, and maybe this isn't the case for you, but is the last week before the event. You know how many people are coming. You've got
Mhm.
momentum. You've got
Mhm.
energy in your voice,
Right.
and they're like it. Some people are a little bit like they want to see the parade first, and
Mhm.
then they want to jump into the back of the parade.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
and it's okay. Mentally, I get that. They
Mhm.
want to see if it's going to be a success first. Did you
Mhm.
get any the last couple of weeks before the event?
Yes, I actually got three the week of the event,
Hmm.
and they didn't. I think that what it was is we kept missing each other more than anything. But yeah, I got them right at at the same week of the event, and in fact, they couldn't even come to the event. So they basically Zelled me the money and said, here, whatever you want to buy for a door prize. And I went out and bought a gift card to a restaurant, and basically that's how we did it. So yes, I did. I got three at the very end.
I
Yes.
love it. I
Hmm.
love it. Great words of wisdom, great advice, such great strategies, such great implementation. Just really making sure the place is inside outside environment so that you didn't have to put up with 110 degrees and 110% humidity. Implementing that planning sequence and really scouting out the restaurant. Love that. And also getting a restaurant that had enough like multi options where people could like feel comfortable going through a buffet and get what they want. I absolutely love that. You chose a happy hour because your people are that type of person. They want to go to happy hour. They want to have fun. They don't want the stress of doing something. And maybe they don't also want to sit in a movie theater, right? Or maybe they don't want a pie. Maybe they don't want dessert. Maybe they don't want different things. But what you really honed in on is you found out what they wanted, not what you wanted,
Hmm.
and you provided it to them. And then you put yourself kind of between what they wanted and where they were, and the rest, so to speak, is history. Your 4 referrals, what's the average sales price of the 4 referrals, let's say they all go to fruition and closing and that kind of thing. What's the average sales price of those?
I would say the average sales price is probably like 450,000.
Yeah. Right. So
Yep.
worth your time.
Absolutely. Hey, there was one other thing I forgot to mention that early on created some agita for me, and that was the fact that I thought I had to design all of the, like, the save the date and the invitation and the trusted vendor sheet. And somebody recommended that, I try to work with somebody on one of these web platforms. And I will tell you, I did look at their work, and I picked somebody that I liked their work, and I worked very well with him. And I got all three of those things done for $75. And they were
Yeah.
beautiful. I mean, I sent you a picture of the one, and yeah, all three of the items were very beautifully done and could be texted, could be emailed. I mean, they were so versatile. So now I have that all figured out too. So the next one is just, change the coloring, change the name of the event, and I'm back in business here.
Yeah, I love it. You've got a template you can follow now, and
Yeah.
it's a branded template. Like
Yeah.
it looks like you.
Mhm.
And the other part of it too is that so many people get hung up on creating the invitation, creating the save the date,
Right.
or setting up the green envelope, or setting up a Google form.
Mhm.
And the best thing to do is there are people who can set up a Google form in 5 minutes.
Right.
5 minutes. Why not go to them?
Yeah.
Buy them a drink. Buy them a Bang energy drink, people. They'll love it.
Yeah.
Buy them, buy them a lunch, whatever it is,
Right.
and they will set you up with the best thing ever. There's people that know Canva really well.
Yeah.
Let those people do it. There's
Right.
people that know AI really well. Let them do it. Like
Right.
the who is not you,
Yeah.
right? Be the conductor, not the tuba player.
Yeah.
And so I absolutely love that. And congratulations on having such a great event. And man, I just really, really appreciate you taking the time. This is brilliant stuff and just beautiful stuff. And it's just great to see, like I said before, I'm super proud, of you because you did come in and just you kind of were searching for something. And
Mhm.
then all of a sudden the pieces of the puzzle kind of fit together for you. And now you're like a rocket. Now you're like a rocket, and it's just a referral rocket. I need to trademark that. So I love that. So Susan, thank you so much for being our guest here today on Referrals Podcast.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Susan Salituri. She is out of Fort Lauderdale. Realtor, SusanSalituri.com is her website. We encourage you to refer her when you've got Fort Lauderdale needs. We do appreciate her so much. She is a big, giant, awesome member of Gen. If you're interested in joining our referral network and meeting people like Susan, you can go to joingengen.com. And we've talked a lot about event mastery. We'd love to have you in event mastery. At the very least, check it out. It's at eventmastery.com. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you. I love you. I'm so glad you're here. And I look forward to seeing you next time on Referrals Podcast.